I've just decided to come and take a look up Devizes Road Cemetery. Never actually been in here before. I've obviously driven past and walked past thousands of times. Never actually realised how big it is. There's 13,882 people either buried or cremated that have been put in here. Which I had no idea of until I googled it today. It's sort of like you can't really see anything when you drive past. You just sort of see a couple of bushes and that's it. But there's quite a lot going on in there. Some pretty cool graves. This little chapel building. That one's stunning. But it cost a pretty penny back in the day. Kathleen Henbest, January 1980 to 1986. See, goes miles down. Oh, this building, that's stunning. I think according to the internet it seats about 20 people in there. Unfortunately it's locked, otherwise I would go in there, but it's a big lock bolting the door. Obviously I'm not going to try and get into that. If it was open I would, but yeah, none of this you can see by the road when you go past. It's just like just big hedges up, blocking everything, blocking the view. But yeah, just under 1,400 people in there. There's another one the other side of that little wall over there, just over that wall, and whether that includes the 1,400 people in or whether it's a completely different graveyard cemetery altogether. But yeah, some old graves there from the 1800s, obviously. Do like that building though. Might have to see if I can come back another day and perhaps get inside and just have a little look. But yeah, never walked down there. Seems to go on and on. (1876 to 1934). It's a shame when these get tipped over. You think someone would pick them back up. Obviously I'm not going to touch it. I wish I could. If someone asked me to, I would, if it was their relative. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to start touching people's graves. Some of them are stunning. Charles Daniels, 13th December 1932, age 58 years old. There's 4 people in that one. So I'm surprised how busy it is as well. Actually, there's about eight people, couples, dog walkers. I think people just come in there to walk their dog, a lot of people, to be honest, or just pass through. I'm not sure if think it said the last person was buried here in 2001, so obviously that's not that long ago, but it's obviously full. Wow. There is room still. Yeah. See how big it is, it's massive. It's always a shame when you see graves like that. You think the maintenance people would at least make some sort of an effort to try and tidy it up a little bit. I don't know where the law stands or the rules stand, but you'd like to think if someone had vandalised your grave or the headstone had fallen over, you know, the grounds people might attempt to at least make it look a little bit neater, or, you know, it's not going to take a lot to pick that bit of concrete up and put it back in, but there's quite a lot that actually go right under the hedge, so it makes me wonder how later the hedgerow was put in. Just going to take a little walk around, take a look, get my bearings, and if it feels right I might get some of my equipment out, set the spirit box up, see if there is anyone in there that wants to communicate. So the reason I came in the light as well, so obviously I could sort of get a grip of like my way around, or at least see it in the light, so I knew exactly what it was like in here. I'm not really going to read any or many gravestones out. I might read some of the older ones out. It's real local to me, it's literally 10 minutes from my house. Last thing I want to do is obviously disrespect anyone or anything like that. Not that I think it's disrespectful. I'd have no issues with someone walking around when I'm buried in a graveyard. I don't plan on spending eternity next to where I'm buried. Just checking I've kept all my equipment's right up by that building on a bench. I'd like to think no one would take it. But yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a track all the way back up there to the beginning. Well, most of the graveyards, cemeteries we have around here, there is one big one that I've been to before a couple of times, and had some good communications and from spirits, and using devices and stuff. Some talking on the spirit box. But yeah, on a whole, most of them are actually quite small in Salisbury. All the ones I've been to, all I can think of. Are a lot smaller than this, besides the London Road one, which has got 21,000 people in there, I believe. I'd say this one's just under 14,000. It's just a lot. It's a lot of people. And it's a shame, I suppose, after generations and generations go and pass and time goes by, people just forget, or they just, you know, if you never met your great granddad, and you know your great granddad dies, then your granddad dies, and then I suppose sadly people just sort of get forgotten about. I'm sure there are families out there that take their children and their grandchildren to visit people at their place of rest. But I'd say the majority over time they just sadly get forgotten about. A lot of these are so old you just can't see a date on them. Oh, I've got a real strong urge to just start fixing the graves, but obviously I'm not going to touch any of them. I think there should be someone that comes around. You know, who does that cross belong to? Obviously it belonged to someone. Possibly off the top of that stone, to be fair. I just feel as though they had the right to have their grave maintained, no matter how long they've been here, or, you know, regardless of whether they got any family members to do it. I don't know, I just think it's a bit sad. Terence Charles Young, pilot, Royal Air Force, 14th of January 1942, age 21. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, I give you my heart and my soul. The angel put in front of that looks fairly new. And some of these I can still see are relatively new. I'm not gonna go into those. But yeah. Just going to take a look at this one. I think by the looks of it, a lot of the newer ones are on the outside, which kind of makes sense, obviously. There's some new ones right at the start. There's quite a few new ones behind me that I'm just gonna pass. Oh, that's stunning. Stunning statue. Just tipped over and just left and forgotten about. It's sad, it really is. I'm tempted to actually try and contact someone and ask, like, is there no, why do the maintenance people not make it right, or at least correct it the best they can? It really is not that much hard work. You could spend a day or two in there and it would look, we could at least, you know, tidy the graves up and that a bit. I would just, you know, you think that would be in the job description, but I don't know enough about it really to know. There's just graves lying everywhere, all over the place. I get it, they sink, you know, the ground sinks, you know, after time, weathered, and they break eventually, but, you know, even propping it up, it doesn't take a lot, does it? That's my view on it anyway. To be honest, it's probably one of the not so well maintained graveyards I've been into. Probably only seen one that was in sort of worse condition, but it was older and there was older graves. But you know, some of these are only 20 years old. It's not that old really. Obviously there's maintenance people. There must be, otherwise it would be a lot worse than what it is. But you find after time all the crosses, after 100 years or whatever, they break off. But the weird thing is that some of them they've broken off from and they've just completely disappeared. A lot of them are led over like that, which is understandable, even though that really wouldn't be that hard to fix. But yeah, it makes you wonder what happened to the ones that just completely disappear. Peaceful, very peaceful. A lot of dog walkers. One's just seen me and turned around, thankfully. Building up there. It's quite exposed up here as well. A lot of the graves look a lot more weathered than what I've seen in previous graveyards with much older graves in. I suppose some of them are just a bit protected from the elements, and it's really quite exposed up here. So sure what this is for. All overgrown. Not sure what would have been in there originally. I think it's safe to say that the maintenance guy don't bother with that. Mr. Badger. Cut the tree down. That's pretty much the whole of the cemetery. Covered. 1998. There's actually another bit, but I'm not sure if it's part of the same cemetery or not, to be honest. Be an interesting house to live in. So this one's locked. Got a few more in there. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole of this one. I really want to get my spirit box and stuff out. There's still people walking about. Not that it's illegal or anything like that. Just look. God's honest truth, whoever maintained it is doing a rubbish job. This little chapel thing. Have to get inside. Let's stop filming, take some photos, depending on how I feel. I might get the tackle out. Ghost hunting equipment, you know, that tackle. But yeah, I do like that building. Gutted I can't go in it. You're better off coming here in the middle of the night, really. It's just nice to walk around in the daytime and actually see what it was like in here. I had no idea it was this big. I literally thought there was maybe 100 graves in there. But yeah, for now, peace out.